Okay, we're live. We're live. First live for my channel. Let me see if I can turn the camera around real quick so that I'm not too. Hey guys. So this is going to be my first live for my channel. So we're going to be doing some knotless braids. And so, yeah, if you guys want to join us, feel free to ask any questions. I'm going to just go ahead and keep going forth with the style. I'm not sure if we're going to keep this up because, like I said, it's our first time going live on Nique Lynn's channel. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, guys, but let's just see how this goes. So let me turn the camera around so that you guys can see what we're working with here today. So you could see that my client's hair is very, very, very long. So these are knotless on very long hair. And again, guys, we are available for any questions. I move the camera back just a little bit. I apologize in advance if you see the camera keep moving, but we just want to make sure that you guys are getting the best angles. Okay. So I don't know whoever wants to watch the comments. Oh, you already, okay, sis is on it. Okay. Okay. I don't.
To do knotless on blown out hair.
Yes. I think, in my opinion, I don't know. Some people don't like their hair to be blown out. So, I guess it's personal preference, but I prefer like we blew her hair out. Her hair is naturally curly, but just for like the sleekness of the braid and just for the ease of braiding, I went ahead and blew it out. Not much, but just a couple stretches through. So it's more or less to just stretch the hair. It's not, the goal is not to have the hair be bone straight.
How long do medium knotless braids last on 4C hair?
Hmm.
You can get about 4 weeks. But you got to make sure you're keeping the scalp clean and keeping the braids itself moisturized.
Yeah, and then too, did she say medium? How long for medium? Yeah, it also depends on what size. Like everybody's mediums differ. And so if a person's medium is, maybe a person's medium is 30 braids. I don't know. You know what I mean? It just kind of depends on what that person considers as medium. Because obviously, the smaller they are, the longer that they're going to hold and kind of keep its neatness. I'll use for lack of better term. So, yeah, it just really just depends on the braider. It depends on how they braid it. It depends on the methods that they use. But anything with knotless, it should be lasting weeks. If it's only lasting a few days, something's wrong. Something was wrong with those knotless.
Yeah, and Michelle, as for your question, um, whether you get small or medium, it all depends. It depends on like if your hair is drier, are you naturally retain moisture? Because when you have smaller styles with 4C hair, sometimes it gets dry and brittle, and what you don't want to do is break it off because you want it to keep your hair so your hair is growing. So it all depends on your personal texture or the person's texture. And what do you recommend as far as a good braiding gel?
Shine and Jam. That's my go-to. My go-to is Shine and Jam. There is all different kinds of Shine and Jam. So there's this yellow one here, and then we have a green one somewhere too. So I'll show you the green one as well. Now this one is like Shine and Jam edges, but it does work very well, and it is a little bit stronger consistency than your yellow Shine and Jam. So I say any Shine and Jam product. Um, I know that Magic Finger Studios also just came out with their own braiders one. But to me, to be honest, I think they all work well. So just depends on your price point, what you want to spend on it, because some of them are a little bit more expensive than the yellow one. But I have no issue with the yellow one. So that's just the one I use 90% of the time, 95% of the time.
What type of for hair medium and small size knotless are good? I've had both.
Say that one more time.
I think she was answering Melissa's question, basically saying both medium and small are good on 4C
Oh,
hair.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And even for myself, like I have 4C hair, I've had medium and large, and both have been great for my hair. Do you use a certain type of foam or mousse after braiding?
Yep. I use Tropical Roots styling foam. Tropical Roots, what does it say? Moisturizing styling foam? Yeah, moisturizing sculpting foam. So this is actually one that's more geared towards braiders. And so I really like this one a lot. Now I have used other mousses in the past, like Vigorol, and I can't think of some of the other brands, but I've even used some off brands, Tresemme, things like that. I've used those as well. But my favorite mousse is actually the Tropical Roots one. Thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, this is my first live, so I don't really know um like who subscribed to the channel or or not. If you are not subscribed to my channel is all about protective braided hairstyles. And not is it just only about the braided hairstyles, but we do try to go over just other things as well about like work ethic and then hope as well, because I always like to encourage other braiders that they have everything that they need in order to be great. So the page is all about hair hustle hope, and you'll see that just kind of echoed all throughout the channel and all throughout the videos. So again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, and they're interested in that type of content, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are subscribed to the channel, thank you for just joining us. It's just great to be able to connect with you guys. Again, this is my first live, so just bear with us, but we are here to answer all questions. So we'll be here for just a little while. And yeah, feel free to ask your questions.
Are there certain combs that you use for precise parting?
Yep. Oh, you guys are asking good questions. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Braid Barbie. She's on Instagram. Um, I had purchased some of her precision parting combs, and I really do like the comb. I know that there's a number of braiders that sell these combs. I don't have any of my own yet, but it is something that I do want to look into. But before I started using, oh, there it is. Before I started using that comb, um, I like to use a barber's comb, and that's what that comb is called. It's called a barber comb. And I like to use that because of this part right here. I don't know, am I in the camera? Okay. So this part right here, it's sharp, so you do have to be careful when parting your client's hair. But for me, for detailing, I have found nothing to compare with this. So this is like my go-to. But to get through like the bulk of hair, I really do love the open space here. That does help when trying to glide through in my initial separation. So I really use a mix of both because I actually use another comb too, guys. um, and this comb here, I actually got this from a class through Sasha Harris and Magic Fingers Studios had a class, and I got this from the class. And for me, this is very good. Just want to make sure that I'm in the. Yeah, this is very good for like combing in the gel and smoothing the style and for like baby hairs. So I use between those three, those are my go-to tools. Wow, your hair is so long. Like,
Yes, it
I'm
looks
just,
something like a beard.
your hair is so long. So yeah, guys, you see like in person that, you don't have to be intimidated by long hair when doing knotless because it is very possible. Now, sometimes you do have to go and kind of fix your parting a little bit. Like if you could see right here, there's a little bit of a dip. So for me, I like to clean that up. Now, is it something that anybody's going to notice? Probably not. But as I was teaching my videos, like going the extra mile and being detail oriented really can take your style from good to great. And you always want to, give it your all. So as you can see, I'm just going to take that piece out there. I'm going to use the precision comb because it does help as well with detailing. And you see here how I just kind of like lay the comb parallel to the scalp. I'm just going to take that and I'm going to grab that little piece there. And I'm going to do it again because people don't realize that this is also helping you line your part up. And so if you can kind of just get it adjacent to the head as much as you can. Now, sometimes you will have to lift up. But that's what this comb is good for, is to separate out those small pieces like that. And then if you really want to clean it up, you can re-gel it with your Shine and Jam. Take the detailer and clean it up. Which one? The pink one or the braid Barbie? No, I don't sell them yet, guys. But there are a number of braiders that do sell them. I know that Braid Barbie is one of them. Also, Ordinary Her. She also sells them. So if you guys wanted to check out their Instagrams, um, they do have those combs available for sale. If I can think of anybody else, I'll mention them as well. But if that's something that you guys are looking for, I can also look into it as well and see what's necessary in order to get them personalized and all that good stuff. So another little knotless trick is to separate the hair. I like to do this because it helps me feel if my pieces are the same width. And so if I feel like I need to put a little bit to the other side, then I can do that before I even start. And then that also helps with consistency of doing your knotless braids. And you see, I just add my pieces just a couple at a time and then go from there. And with the length of her hair, I actually just explained this in the Facebook group that we have, that with the length of her hair really does serve as a strand itself in a sense. So I don't have to add so much, but I do need to add for length. So I braid a little bit down, maybe a little bit more than about halfway. And once I get to that point is when I start adding some additional pieces.
I guess you kind of answered that question. I asked, how did you add length to the braid without it being noticeable?
Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Let me just throw some gel on here and I can actually show you right now how to add the hair in. Okay. So the trick to adding the hair in without it being noticeable is you have to get it underneath the strand that's sitting over the top of your pointer finger right here. I'm going to take this piece of hair that I'm adding. Can you see that, guys? Okay. So I'm going to take this piece of hair. I'm going to gently slide it underneath this piece right here. I'm going to slide it underneath. Now, this piece here is going to join over here. and this half is going to join with this part. Once I have it together, I'm going to take this side, push it behind my pointer, and then I'm going to take this side and push it behind my pointer, and then keep braiding. And as you can see, it's absolutely seamless.
Do you add the same amount of hair throughout the entire braid?
Yes. Wait, the same amount or the same size? I'm sorry.
Same amount.
The same amount? Guys, to be honest, knotless is somewhat of a feeling for me. So there might have been a time like I might add one more piece. I don't know. Some of my braids might have 5 pieces, some of them might have 4. Like I'm not necessarily counting.
Or they said, or do you start off with smaller pieces?
I typically try to start off with my piece being smaller than the strand of hair that I'm braiding. And if you guys give me like 2 seconds, I can show you on the next one what I mean. So how's everybody's day going? Are you guys busy? Are you guys braiding? Are you guys like, what's going on? Okay, so I'll go ahead and start the next one. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oops, sorry. All right. So we're going to move the camera just a smidge so that you guys can see.
Let me take my glasses off.
Not for this one. Okay. There we go. So this is going to be the start of a new one right here. Because see, I'm going to just gel right around the whole box that I just parted. And I'd like to even run the gel down the shaft of the hair as well because I want that to be nicely moisturized. Stick something tight here. And if this is not a good angle, guys, just let me know. We'll try to make sure that we're getting good angles for you.
Hey, I feel like I'm late. Is that gel or shine or jam?
You're not late. You're not late. You're right on time. So we are using Shine and Jam, the yellow one. We'll go ahead and get that for you. Yep. And we're just starting at the beginning here of the knotless braid. You can see my client's hair is very long. And I want to just show you the size of the hair that I'm braiding. One thing, guys, you always want to make sure that the size of the hair or the piece that you're using is smaller than one strand of the braid that you're doing, okay? That is key because you don't want your knotless braid to be lumpy. You want it to be a smooth transition from the base on down. So when I start, you can see there that it's just a little bit smaller. Now you don't want them to be too small, but you just want to get right underneath the size of the hair that you're braiding. And again, you want to kind of keep it like that. Now you can build it up a little bit, but I wouldn't do too much because remember, this is weight that's going to be hanging from the root of your client's hair. So you don't want to add too much weight to it. You know, you just add a few pieces and then continue to braid down. Again, because of the length of my client's hair, I have to continue to keep adding the pieces so that I can cover the length of her natural hair. But because her hair is so full, it definitely, well, should I say long? Because of its length, it does kind of make up its own leg of the braid. So I just kind of have to take my time and braid it down.
I need my hair to look like that.
Aw. It is coming out good, right, y'all? But it just takes time and practice and patience. I tell anybody that when it comes to knotless braids, I did take her name is Ordinary Her. I did take her course that she offers on knotless braids, and that really helped me. That really helped me a lot when it came to doing knotless. Like I knew how to do them, but I'm a big systems person. So I always like a system to what I'm doing. And so that's what her course helped me with, was creating a system that I was able to just work my way through the style, knowing how I was going to attack each and every braid. And that's what builds consistency in your style.
It looks so neat.
Thank you.
Beautiful work.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Girl, we're good. All right. And if there's any point that you guys can't see, I'll just try to leave the ends open for a little while, even though I like to braid it all the way down because so my sister Tracy here, she said leaving the ends undone is like it's kind of like not doing the dishes while you're cooking. Like when you get done cooking, you don't want to go back and do the dishes. Like you just want the sink to be clean when you're finished. And honestly, like I couldn't think of a better analogy for that. When she said that, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that is a great analogy because that's how it feels. It's like you get done with the style and it's like, oh, now I gotta go back and braid all these ends down. Jesus, I was almost done. So, oh no, honey, I never ever tie the ends. I want you to see, like, even with this little bit of hair left, I am still braiding, guys. So one of my things is to just always, always braid to the end, all the way down. As tedious as it is, try to get all the way down because the further down you braid, the less chances that it's going to unravel. And some people knot it anyway. So like Glam by Mary, which I love her page, love her channel, all that stuff, guys. She is someone that always knots her braids at the bottom as like an extra layer of protection. So I mean, I've never had any issue. When you had your knotless the last time, did you have any issues with the bottoms unraveling? No? Okay. So yeah, if you braid mainly down all the way, then you shouldn't have any issue. What does it say? Do you have to wash the weave? Some people do. You don't have to, but some people do. Some people will do a vinegar wash. Um, some hair already comes, pre-washed with the vinegar wash or what have you. So, are you looking for it, Trey? I used it yesterday. Oh, okay. You found the thing there. Okay. Yeah. So, oh, that's good because it's right on the back too. Yep. So, what is this? Is Everclear, guys. This is from Model Model. This hair is very good. Now, I'm not braiding with that right now. But the Everclear is very good if you have clients or even you yourself have like scalp sensitivity and things like that. That hair comes pre-vinegar washed. And so basically what that does is it kind of strips the hair of that chemical layer that's on top of the hair. And that's what's actually, because remember, these are synthetic fibers, guys. So, you know, sometimes somebody's scalp may have some irritation to that. And so if you have a client that has that, you can try to use that type of hair, or you can do a vinegar wash on your hair prior to, uh, you know, using it for an install.
Is there a certain brand of hair that you recommend using for braiding?
Yep. um, I use the Sensational brand 2X expression braids. I think it comes in 48 inches. And this is the hair that I'm using right now, guys. And to be honest, it's like it is my go-to. And I've used a lot of different brands and nothing bad about any other brand. It's just that this is the braiding hair that I have found that braids the most consistent. It blends with all hair textures from very fine hair to 4C textures. So I've never had any issue with that hair. And so it's just kind of like my go-to. But the other brand that I would use is that Model brand, because that's a great brand as well. I actually did a review on that. And so if you guys wanted to check out my channel, I did do a large knotless. Yeah, those were large knotless we did. Yeah, actually on Tracy. So my sister here that's holding the hair and holding these packages. Um, we did a large set of knotless using that model hair, and that was a great hair to use. And she had a great experience with that hair as well. Well, no worries. Oh, my niece said they said something else. They said no worries. Who you talking to? Come on. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to keep this on. Okay. Yeah, but we're getting through. We're already halfway. We're about halfway through. So that's another thing, guys. Because I don't know what time we started braiding, but I know it was around 12:30 that we started braiding, and it's 2:25 right now, and we're halfway up through the head. So I do strongly believe that pre-parting your sections, it may take you about 30 minutes or so, but trust me, y'all, it will have an overall effect on the time of the style.
How do you prep your hair for knowledge braids?
Um, hold on one second. We instead of turning it, can we? Is there a button to flip the camera? Because you could like literally just click one of the buttons, I think, and they should be able to see the rack. So go down a little bit. Yeah. So I use the braid rack, but sometimes I lay it out on a table as well. But for the most part, I do use a braid rack. Now, right now, Tracy is just handing me the pieces because that's just what we do on Saturdays. So I'm a little spoiled on Saturdays, guys. But, you know, throughout the week, I just use my braid rack. No, my husband ordered it. Actually, for my birthday last year, he ordered that from a company on Instagram called the Braid Easel. So, are you guys liking tutorials live versus like your regular like just YouTube videos? Are you liking being able to get your questions answered live, or do you just kind of prefer like just like video tutorials? I like doing it live. Again, guys, this is my first live, so I do appreciate everybody joining us. And how many people on the live are braiders?
Queen said, hi, host. Karen said, I really like the vibe because you can give us feedback right away.
Okay.
And is there a certain license one can get for strictly braiding rather than having to go through the entire cosmetology certification?
Yeah, depending on your state, hun. Like I live in Pennsylvania, and so there is a natural hair braider's license in my state. But depending on what state you live in, like you might just need a certificate. And they do offer like certificates in different states. Some states don't require a license to braid natural hair. So I think Arizona may have been one of the first states to deregulate the licensure policies. And so it just really depends on what state you're in. But it's important to look up your state laws because, you never want to get like caught up in a bad situation. Like I had to go get my full cosmetology license. So I did go through the full program, but that was only because my area didn't offer a natural hair braiding license in the local school. And the school that did offer that, I would have had to travel about 2.5 hours per day. And so for my family and I, that just did not fit our schedule. And so even though it was a much shorter class, it just wasn't feasible for us.
Love you realize that I also love your videos. You're so talented and detailed. And oh, I love your voice too.
Oh gosh. Thank you. Some might think it's annoying, but I've gotten feedback on both, believe it or not. So no, I appreciate that. Thank you. I think somebody asked me before, why do I talk over music? I was like, I don't know, because I want to. Like, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know. I always think that music adds a little bit of a layer. I mean, I don't know. And I like music. So, okay, guys. So you could see like these are coming out really, really nice. And again, you don't have to be intimidated by length because, like, look at the length of my client's hair versus, the length of her knotless. So, as if you guys could see this, there's not that much of a difference between where her hair ends and where her braids end. So, and if we did them any longer, they'd be like down to her knees. So, we still want to keep a decent length, but we want to give her enough length that if she did want to just snip off that very little bottom, she can. But yeah, sis is not going to be able to cut these any higher up than that. So, if you have clients with long hair, just always make sure that you advise them to not cut their braids, especially if their hair is this length. They just going to have to kind of just unravel them right from the bottom. And even be careful when you go to dip the hair, because I don't like to dip my client's hair while it's in the braids. I don't like to dip their natural hair in such scalding hot water. And so for me, I just try to avoid that part, even though their hair is protected within the braids. But just be careful. I mean, people do it, but just be careful.
Do you ever braid on natural hair without blow drying it?
Very rare. It's possible, but for me, like, not everyone's natural hair is the same. So, like, for example, I have natural hair. I haven't, I probably, even before the whole natural movement was a thing, guys, like, the texture of my hair never necessarily needed relaxers. And so, for me, I guess you could say I've always been natural. Like, I haven't had a relaxer probably since I was, I don't know, maybe 14 or 15 years old. And I only did that because I wanted a straight bang. So, okay, there was that. Okay. You know, that little tiny thing going across, like, that was it for me. So I was like, listen, sis, go ahead and put this little relaxer in my hair. And so I did that. But for my hair as being natural, I wouldn't necessarily have to blow dry my hair because I can comb through it easily because my hair is very fine. But then you have natural hair that is very coarse. And it's not the coarseness of it that causes an issue. And I think that this is something that some braiders, it becomes a very big debate in the braid industry because some people are like, oh, you shouldn't blow dry the hair, oh, you this and that. But if the person's hair is coarse to the point, even if it's not coarse, I'm going to put it to what makes the difference. Is the hair knotted or not knotted? If a person's hair, I don't care if a person has thin hair, if their hair is tightly curled, I may need to stretch through it because I don't want to break through those curls. Because as I'm going through, I believe that I'm going to cause more damage by ripping through the curls trying to part the style versus me just taking 3 minutes, putting some heat protectant on, going through with the blow dryer maybe just 4 or 5 times just to stretch the hair a little bit, and then I can go through smoothly versus me like, oh, well, I don't want to put any heat. Well, it's kind of like, well, what damage would you prefer? Do you want heat damage or do you want pull damage? Because either way, it's going to be some damaging happening here. So I feel like it's safer to use some heat protectant. And actually, I'll show you guys the heat protectant that I do use. It's from a company called Pulp Riot. It's a very, it's a professional brand. I don't know if I am in the, yep, okay. So it's from Pulp Riot, and it's a thermal protectant spray. This little jar, guys, cost about $14. And I almost fell out in the store. I ain't even gonna lie. When I got to that counter, she said $14. I was like, what? But she explained to me how good it was. And honestly, on every texture, no matter how thick the hair is, when I blow the hair out after it, the hair is light as a feather. And so I don't know what it is. It's not a heavy product. It's not a wet product, which I love because that wetness does cause, like, for the hair to get even hotter. And so because it's an aerosol heat protectant, I just find that it works a lot better. And so we did use that today. And I think I did get a little video of what her natural state was. So I'll be sure to maybe make a reel or something like that so that I can show that as well. So if you guys are not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is Nique_Lynn, and you guys can check out some of the pictures in the post of the styles that are done on a daily basis.
Do you use an electric kettle for the dipping of the hair? If so, what brand do you recommend?
I do use an electric kettle. I got it at Walmart, I think. Now the one that I have, I don't always recommend because it's a little bit small. And the one I had before was bigger than that. So I think this is a 1 liter, I think. The one I had before might have been a 1.7. But if you guys click on some of my videos, I do have Amazon links, like affiliate links, that if you click on one of those videos, I think that my kettle, the recommended kettle, is in the description link of most of my videos. And if you can't find it, just feel free to like DM me on Instagram, and I can always share the link with you that way as well.
Where can you purchase that heat protectant online?
That's a great question. I could probably find an Amazon link for you. It might be a little bit cheaper, actually, to do it that way. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit cheaper to try to do it through Amazon if that's something that they sell through Amazon. But I mean, it's Amazon, so I'm pretty sure there's something that's on there.
What kind of edge control are you using in the braid?
Shine and Jam. I always use Shine and Jam, guys. And on all my videos, there is a Shine and Jam link. So if you click on any of my videos that are on my channel, look in the description section, and where all my affiliate links are, you can find a link for the Shine and Jam. You know, it's so funny because Shine and Jam is such a popular product, and when I first started braiding a few years ago, I couldn't even find it in my area, and so I always had to order it online. But it was sad because there was nobody really like talking a lot about what they were using. So the whole time I was using the wrong brand. I was using like the Dark and Lovely. It's not called Shine and Jam. I'll think of it. But I was using the Dark and Lovely brand, thinking that I was using the regular Shine and Jam. And I kept being like, why aren't my braids, coming out like what I see happening? Like, I know for a fact that I'm braiding this the right way. And then come to find out, it's called Let's Jam. So I was confusing the Dark and Lovely Let's Jam with Ampro Shine and Jam. And so, guys, if you're looking for Shine and Jam, just know that the Dark and Lovely brand is something different. It does work okay, but it's a little bit greasier than Shine and Jam, so it doesn't hold the same consistency that Shine and Jam holds.
What is your advice with someone who has mixed hair, the front, and the front is a little bit thinner?
Regarding knotless braids or just period?
Just period. I didn't mention knotless braids.
And you said the hair is thinner in the front?
Correct.
If your hair is thinner in the front, I would just be careful with any style that causes tension. So if you have thin hair in the front, I would watch like traditional box braids. I would be very careful with those because they could add a lot of weight. I would maybe be careful with like things like crochet. Um,
She said for feet in braids, sorry.
oh, for feet and braids? Okay, if your hair is thin in the front, I would wait to add hair, and I would not let people add too thick of pieces. So if your hair is thinner in the front, I would probably braid for the first maybe 5, 6, 7 times, depending on how thin your hair is. I would maybe braid, but maybe even halfway through before I started adding in pieces. So I would just, anything that has to do with tension, I would just be careful.
And then Nicole asks, what's the difference between the one you're using and the red container that they have?
Oh, the red container sticker. So the red container, just a little background about the red container. The red container is from Magic Finger Studios. Her name is Sasha Harris. She is located, I believe, in New York. And so she is a braider that has partnered with Ampro. And she has her own line through Ampro. So like just shout out to her. Like what goals is that? You know what I mean? Like those are straight goals, guys. And it just goes to show that if she can do it, so can we. And so if you are a braider, just keep on pushing because I'm sure she never thought in a million years that she would be the face of a company's braid section of their company or what have you. And she actually has hair now. She has the oil sheen. She has the red jar. And I think she has mousse. So she has the full Magic Fingers line in partnership with Ampro. But that is like the Braider's edition of the gel. And so I have used it. And it is thicker. And I do like it, don't get me wrong. But it is a little bit more expensive than the yellow jar. I will say that. So, and I've only seen one size in the red jar. So from what I've seen, the red jars only come in 8 ounce. And I could be wrong, but I'm almost pretty sure that they only come in 8 ounce. And the yellow ones come in 4 ounce, 8 ounce, and 16 ounce. So, which I always use the 16 ounce one. So that's the main difference. It is a little bit thicker, but to me, I can use the yellow and use the red and probably have the same result. So it's not a big deal for me. I just go with the one that's a little bit less expensive. But as a means of support, um, yeah, I mean, I have purchased it.
What moisturizer did you use in your client's long hair after washing and conditioning?
Well, I didn't wash it and condition it because I ask my clients to come already washed and conditioned before they get here. And so for me, I don't like to use a moisturizer at the root, but I do like to run the product that I'm using from the root of her hair down to the ends because Shine and Jam is a conditioning gel. And so I feel for me, and I've never had any issues, that it's always worked for me to add a little moisture. And then also, as I braid down my client's hair, I'm constantly just taking a little bit of the gel. And so I'm always kind of like just swiping that gel and I'm using it as I braid down. So I make sure that my client's hair is still being moisturized as I braid down. And thankfully, a lot of my clients have had minimal breakage, or not even breakage, but just even minimal shedding when it comes to their takedown. And I do think it's because of the product going consistently through the braid as I braid down. I think that helps tremendously with the amount of shedding that they see when they take the style down. Oh, I like the song. I pressed the plus sign on that one. Y'all know I gotta save these songs for my videos. Hold up, y'all. We multitasking over here for real. Yep, so I just always make sure that I'm gelling the hair down as well. Did anybody mention if they were braiders? No? Okay. I'm so proud of us, y'all, for going live. Because I've been wanting to do this for a while on YouTube, but I've been nervous, y'all. I've been scared. I'm like, nah, I'm just put my little videos up.
And now look.
So what do you guys prefer? Braiding all the way down to the end or waiting?
Um, what would your advice be for someone that really wants two or more feed-in braids and they don't necessarily have a big head or tons of hair?
They want two or more.
Mm-hmm. Feed-in layer braids and they don't necessarily have a big head or tons of hair.
That might work in your benefit for that style, to be honest. Because those, honey, them tribals, boy, them 2 layers, depending on the size, which typically they are a little bit smaller, those they take some time. I personally believe that they are one of the most underestimated styles in the feeding world. I'm telling y'all, those styles take all day long. Those tribals, but but yeah, for 2 layers, it just depends how you're gonna part it. To be honest,
Do you use a certain type of hair oil on the scalp after braiding?
yep, I do like to use the wild growth, or if I have the tropical roots. growth oil spray, which I'm out of right now. I will use that afterwards because I do like to spray the scalp down. And then I also do use mousse as well. So the mousse that I use is also the tropical roots mousse. I think we had showed that in the beginning. Here's some, yeah, this mousse here. I do use this as well, the tropical roots moisturizing sculpting foam. And so I feel like that also helps to put some moisture back into my client's hair.
How do you make sure your knotless braids are even from root to tip?
Um, Same size pieces, pretty much. If you're just joining, we did go over about the sizing, and I'll be glad to show you again about how to kind of like size out your knotless braids.
Natalie B said, I'm hitting.
Hey Nat, yes, girl, I was live in the group. Where was you at, girl? So yeah, guys. Oh, I do have a group on Facebook. If you're wondering, like, what group? But we do have a group on Facebook. It's called Hair Hustle Hope Collective. And guys, that group is just everything. So basically, what we're doing right now, um, that group has access to this all the time. We really are a group of sisters. We encourage each other all the time. Again, it's called Hair Hustle Hope Collective, and we just help each other out. The girls, we share our styles, we share tips. I go live in that group as well. So if anybody wants to join us on Facebook, feel free to go over to Hair Hustle Hope Collective and make sure that you answer the questions. That is the only thing that we do ask, is that the questions are answered. But once you answer the questions, myself or Tracy, who is the other moderator on the group, will make sure that you guys are in.
Natalie B said, been working nonstop.
I bet. I bet. What styles did you have today? Or are you still working? Because it ain't even 3 o'clock yet. So I'm talking about everybody probably still working. As you guys can see, I'm just working my way right around the head. My sections are pre-parted, guys. So that is something that I did do this time that I didn't do on her hair the last time. But it does make a big difference.
She said, I'm done for 2 hours, my lunch.
Oh, okay. Look at you getting a lunch break, girl. You better go on and get your lunch break. That's good. That's important, guys. Please don't be like me. I set bad examples over here. Because it's hard for me to stop sometimes. But if you guys are breeders, you are very important. And it's important for you to fuel yourself and take care of you, as well, if you really want to give a quality style.
I believe it's Miss Oregon. I appreciate you taking the time to answer the questions. It's been a while since I have done braids and I feel out of the loop.
Oh, honey, I'm going to be honest. Even with me braiding every day, or almost every day, I just got back into it myself. But just to be honest, there's times I still fill out the loop because, and Tracy and I, we talk about this all the time. The power of the internet. Well, what you always say, Tracy, the internet
It's undefeated.
is undefeated. And it's true. The internet is undefeated. You know what I'm saying? And basically, styles come out so fast that there's times that, even like I said, as braiding every single day, there's times where I'm like, oh my gosh, when did they have the time to learn this? Like, I'm sitting here trying to just keep up with my book, let alone, learn these new styles that are coming out every single day, it seems like. And so, the best thing that I could say for you, love, is just enjoy your process. Don't let the internet fool you. Don't let the internet rush you. Don't let the internet trick you into thinking that you're behind, because I stress myself so much with stuff like that. And where I live, people don't even have no idea what these styles are that are coming out. So it's like, who am I really, who am I really in a race with? You know what I mean? So just enjoy your process and get good at what you can get good at first. So if you're good at feed-ins, focus on that for a little while. Cause to be honest, to be 100% honest, and Tracy as my witness, I didn't even offer box braids for at least the first year when I got back into braiding, because I was new to the game again. And so it was like I had to get my feed-ins down before I could even add box braids. Now, if that was something I knew how to do easily and to a place where I felt like I was able to charge people for them, I would have offered them from the jump. But because I wasn't there, I said, no, I'm not about to take these people money. So it took me a long time. And now it's funny because most of my book is knotless braids and in box braids and things like that. So take your time, get good at what you can, learn the foundations of things, and then go from there. And if you ever need a hand, or you ever just need, you know, just some thoughts or what have you, if you're on Facebook, be sure to join the group, because having a support system, especially when getting back into it, is so crucial. And it's something that I wish that I had, because I was very alone when I was getting back into this. And if it wasn't for like my best friend Tracy and my husband, I probably would have gave up, guys. And that's the honest truth. But because they kept pushing me, I just kept going and going. And then they were like, listen, sis, just turn the camera on. Like, just start recording. Just start recording. And I was like, I'm not ready. I can't put no video out. And now look. So you really can't do anything. Um, well, first you could do all things through Christ. That's what you could do it through. But, you can really do anything that you put your mind to.
What's your advice for preventing all those little hairs from sticking out of the braid?
Tucking. Like, thankfully with her hair, because of her length, guys, I mean, I don't really have that issue. Your hair is so, every time I look in this camera, like, I know it's in front of me, but you don't realize it until you look in the camera. So, with her hair, guys, I don't really have to worry about nothing poking out until I get to the bottom. But that's not going to be the case for every client. So I'll try to show you an example on this braid right here, how I try to get the hair behind. And what that process is called, it's called tucking. And if you guys see, I'm like working that gel almost all the way through, right down to the bottom.
Nicole said, how long do these braids last?
Well over 4, I mean, you could, 4 good weeks. If you go past 4 weeks, you may need a touch up. But it just really depends on how somebody takes care of their hair. But I think the last time you had them for a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just
And
depends.
truthfully, I could have left them in longer, honestly.
Like 4 to 6 weeks, I would say, is a good time.
Miss Oregon said this, that is amazing, thank you. My braiding partner broke her elbow, so I ended up stopping. But now I have people asking me for them again, so I feel like I need to start again, even without her. Sophia said you're doing a great job with the braids. Nicole said, wow.
Oh, well, thank you. And yes, I mean, let her recover. You know what I mean? But don't let your clientele lag just because you don't have your partner. You just be transparent and explain to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with saying like, hey, maybe if you guys were taking 2 people a day, if you were braiding together and you were taking 2 people a day, well, maybe you can only do 1 person a day. But having a system will help you in her absence. And I think that she would appreciate it as well, because if she is ready to come back, you want her to have something to come back to. So if you just stop, you are both going to be just letting yourselves lag for no reason.
The Real Hunter said, all I know is I'm going right down to the beauty supply store to get all of the hair products you showed today. My B-day is on Monday. Your video has made me feel confident about doing my hair.
Oh, you're gonna do your own hair? Okay. Okay, please join us on Facebook, cause y'all, I'm nosy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I am nosy, and I just love to see people's work and see people's progress, and I just love to be able to help in any way that I can, and that's just real. Um, and so if you could join us on Facebook, join our group. If you even if you go and join now, we can even get you in the group now. Just make sure you answer the questions. That's the only ask that we have. Go over and join the group, and then you can share your pictures with us and learn these type of tips and tricks on a daily basis, because my girls in that group is so active and they are growing. Their styles are everything, and their growth is just amazing. So please feel free to join us.
How do you suggest your client take care of their hair during the 4 to 6 week period?
Okay, that's a great question. One thing for me, I always suggest is to keep your scalp moisturized, right? Um, so when I was in school, what they taught us is that dryness is what causes breakage, right? So you want to keep your hair moisturized. Also, you want to keep your scalp clean. Oh, thank you, Trey. So another product. Listen, Tropical Roots gonna have to Tropical Roots gonna have to holler, because we have been showing all these Tropical Roots products. But no, but I really do. I love their products. That is a shampoo spray. And so what you can do with that is basically you can spray that on your hair and then just take like a wet rag and kind of just wipe through your parts. That way, if you are getting any buildup or anything like that, you could get that off of your parts, because you don't want your pores to be clogged necessarily as well with the buildup and the grease. And if you're oiling your scalp every week, then you're gonna get buildup.
Yeah.
So what that does is really breaks through that buildup and keeps your scalp really clean, refreshed. I want to say it even has, well, I know that one has like pineapple and guava. Um, yeah, pineapple and guava in that one. But there are some that have like even like apple cider vinegar. Cantu has one actually. Um, I don't have one, but it actually even has like a nozzle at the top for easy application to get through your parts, and it has like apple cider vinegar in it, and so like that's a really good one as well. Oh, we have another one there. Okay, let's see. That's the ORS one. Now, I haven't had a lot of experience with that, but if we, oh, you have, Tracy? Okay, so Tracy, you can tell them what your experience is with that.
This is actually really refreshing, and I have 4C thick natural hair, and I had my Knotless in for about 4 weeks, and like she said, I would just put this through. I would take a warm rag and just go through the parts, and just try not to use too much oil to clog your pores, but use like more sprays that are like leave-in conditioner so your hair isn't dry.
Yeah, and you can wipe your braids down with it too, just so that your hair that's tucked underneath the braids. Oh, I forgot to tuck this braid. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I'll do it on the next one. Here, let me do it on this one. Apologies.
Natalie B said, "Where do you get your tropical roots products? I haven't been able to find it in 2 states I travel between."
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm actually,
And the ORS, she said.
okay. So for the tropical root snap, I actually got them at a convention. Um, Bronner Brothers actually had a table at a convention that I went to, and so they had like a special deal on them. But if you check out Hair to Beauty, if you check out Hair to Beauty, that's hairtobeauty.com. You can check there. Also barbersalon.com. If you need me to message you those websites, Nat, just just hit me on Instagram or in the group, and I can post those two websites as well because I think I have gotten them off of there as well. All right, and on this one, guys, I'm gonna show you what it is to tuck the hair because I kind of just do it naturally now because I've just kind of gotten used to braiding this way. But in the beginning, it is something that you do have to be a little bit more intentional about. So I'll go ahead and I do apologize for whoever asked that question. I forgot it, y'all. All right. So let me show you guys on this one what it is to tuck. Now, immediately, I might not be able to do it immediately. I might have to let it, that's the thing with Knotless. I might have to let it build up a little bit until I have enough hair to start to tuck. Okay. So you can see that her hair is already blending, and because of the way that I'm braiding, it's already doing it on its own. But when you want to tuck those ends, so this is her natural hair, guys. Can everybody see this? Can they put like a thumbs up or something if they can see this? Because I don't want to. Is there any way to zoom in? Okay, let's see if we could get a little bit closer. And then let me see for 1 second. Sorry, guys, if it's shaking, but is that better? Because I don't want to go any further. Yes, okay. Yeah, so if this is good, just give me a thumbs up, guys, so that I know to go forward. Yes, okay. Now, this is her natural hair, okay? You could see that the color that we did, it blends so well with her natural hair that you could barely see her natural hair. But that's still not an excuse to not tuck it because you are further protecting her natural hair by tucking it. All tucking is, guys, is making sure that the synthetic hair lays over the top of the natural hair. And once you have it, like, I don't want to say secured, but once you have it laid out like that, you can take a little gel right here, like on the back of your fingers here. I'm sorry, my hand's a little weird here. I'm trying to show you guys how I have the gel. Rub that gel down the back of the braid so that her hair is becoming more, like, I guess you could say adhered to that strand that we're working with. And we're going to take that and we're just going to kind of push it behind. Now you could see too, her hair, here's her natural hair right here. I'm just kind of pushing it behind those pieces. And then I'm going to push behind like that. So as I braid down, and once you do that, guys, it kind of stays in place. And then you can just continue to braid down because it's already in position. And if it wants to start sneaking up, this is a good example right here. I'm gonna push that hair so that it's behind. I'm gonna lay the synthetic hair over the top, give it a little hold, and start braiding again. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps, guys. And if you need further instruction on that, you guys can check out Miss Vandy V's channel. She has a wonderful tutorial on how to tuck the hair behind the braiding hair. So you guys can check that out. I don't have a link at the moment for it, but if you guys look up Miss Vanity, she does Braid School Mondays, if I'm not mistaken, and she does cover a lot of these topics in great detail if you're looking for that. And I think I even, on some of my videos, it might have it, but I can't think of the exact one off the top of my head. Has anybody just joined? If you've just joined, what can they leave if they just joined? I don't know. Maybe leave a like wave if you just joined, so that I could just make sure that nobody's left out of the loop here. All right. Yep. So we're moving along. This we got another row done, guys. So I'm just gonna back it up a little. We're gonna just get our 3 sections, add our pieces. Remember, just kind of keep them the same size as the hair that you're braiding. I think that's the trick to knotless. A lot of people get caught up on like, well, what size pieces of hair should I add? And I was caught up with that too. Don't get me wrong, but just a little rule of thumb that if you just keep them to the size hair that your client has, you'll always get a decent set. Now, if the person wanted them a little thicker, then you can make them a little bit thicker. But for the most part, if you just keep them to the size that the strands are that you're braiding, that's a great rule of thumb.
Tamika said, hey, I caught you live on YouTube.
Yay, hey, Tamika. I was looking for you, girl. I was looking for you on Facebook. I sure enough was. I was looking for you on Facebook. I said, where is Tamika and her fresh gel? So we just decided to come over here on YouTube. Because I've never gone live on YouTube. This is actually my first time going live on YouTube. So here we are doing some knotless today. What styles did you have? Because I know you said you were busy today too. Yeah, we got to take a donut break, okay?
Tamika said, awesome. I know these knotlets are going to come out flawless.
Oh, thanks, boo. I'm telling you, I used to be so nervous. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna offer knotless. It's like every style that comes out, I'll go through this whole like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna offer
We
that.
even did it when the butterfly ones came out. Yo.
I'm telling you, first it was box braids. I was like, oh, I ain't no box braids. I ain't doing no box braids. I ain't got time to be doing no box braids. Blah 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 blah. I started doing mad box braids. Then knotless came out. I was like, mm-mm. Tried it one time. I was like, oh no, I did not like how they came out. I was like, mm-mm. This ain't for me. This took all day. Like, this is not it, sis. This is not it. What happened? I do knotless every week. Then butterfly locks came out. I was chopping myself out of those. Oh, those are ugly. I ain't doing those. Listen, I be out here looking for people for butterfly locks. Hey, you want some butterfly locks? Who wants butterfly locks? So it's just good to give styles a chance.
Nicole said, yes, that helps. Thank you. I'm learning to braid better. I know how to cornrow already. I've been out of touch since the pandemic last year. I don't have many clients yet. And gory, their hair suffered.
Oh, right. I was so concerned about that through the pandemic. I know exactly what you're saying. Like, we weren't able to braid for those 3 months. And I know for me, I didn't braid, honey. They said I couldn't braid in my state. I was sitting down, okay? I was like, you will not catch me braiding when y'all said we cannot braid, okay? Like, y'all not. Did y'all see that meme? Who was calling the president? You remember that meme? And they was like, sir, the blacks is braiding in their basement. I was like, no, y'all not about to catch me up. So, honey, I was on break. Okay, okay. But I was so worried about my client's hair because I was like, oh my gosh, we have been working so hard towards the health of their hair. So for 3 months to not be able to do their hair, like I think I low key went into like a depression. Like I even would call Tracy like, I don't know if I'm depressed or not, but
Oh.
I just feel so like I don't know. It was just a feeling I couldn't explain. And so yeah, I definitely understand that. But thankfully, we got right back into the swing of things in July. And so I think my state, no, my county, should I say, because there were other counties in my state that weren't green yet. But we went green June the 19th. And July 1st, I was back in the shop. So, you know, yes, some people's hair, we had to get back on that schedule. And thankfully, my clients were so loyal, like, they didn't get their hair done at all. So like my real day ones, you know what I mean? Like, they just went their 3 months. Even though I had people messaging me like, listen, I just got tested. My test is negative. I'll bring my paperwork. Can you please do my hair? And I was like, no, ma'am, we cannot do that. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till we go green. So, um, yeah, it definitely was a hard time, but get back into it. Just get back into it at one day at a time. And I don't know if this is something that you do on the side or if this is like your full time thing, but just get back into it slowly. Be safe. Um, I know that you guys can't see all of us, but we are all wearing our masks. We have, been washing our hands. We have been using our hand sanitizer. So we definitely promote, being safe. Number one, that's first. Be safe. Um, and yeah, and just go for it.
Sophia asks, can your hair grow longer after you wear braids?
Yes. Can it grow longer?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. I wish that I would have done. All right, y'all, we taking a little intermission. We could stay live, but we're gonna take a little donut break. And stretch and stuff. Um, what was the question? I lost my train of thought.
Can your hair grow longer after you wear
Oh,
braids?
yes. Um, I wish I would have done growth journeys with my clients. Um, let me can you see me if I get over here? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I looking at the camera? Okay, good. Because I don't want to be like looking over here. No, but I wish I would have done growth journeys with some of my clients because the growth that my look Tracy, y'all can't see her, but she raising her hand. Um, the growth that some of my clients have seen, I don't like to take all the credit, guys, because it's really more or less that they have built routines. But the growth that some of my clients have seen, honestly, is unbelievable. And I really would have had to record their journey for it to be believable. Especially my guys. I don't know what it is about guys' hair. Let me take my glasses off. I don't know what it is about guys' hair. And maybe because they don't manipulate their hair as much as we do. But my men's hair, I'm telling you, like the one men's video that I posted, I kid you not, when I said in that video that when he first started, I could barely braid his hair. I was really about to turn him down as a client because I was so flustered. Like, I can't braid his hair. I don't know what I'm going to do. His hair is too short. He wanted 2 braids. I couldn't even do 2 braids because I couldn't stretch his hair far enough from the middle to come into the 2 braids. And what I had to do was do 4 braids. And so, because of that, like I said, I was going to turn him away. And then we just kept going and kept going. And the last 2 years, when he comes here, when I tell you that his hair hits the back of my chair, what used to take us 15 minutes to blow his hair out now takes me closer to an hour just to get through all of his hair because his hair has grown that much. And I have multiple clients that have seen inches. Like when I say inches, I mean their hair might have been shoulder length, it's now mid back. If their hair was, maybe to the top of their ear, now it's down maybe to the bottom of their neck. So, I mean, yes, they are a protective style. And don't get me wrong, you have to know who you're going to. So if you're going to somebody
and they're pulling out your edges and it's too much tension and you're getting bumps or getting irritation and things like that, those type of braids are causing breakage and could even be potentially causing further issues like tension alopecia and things like that. So you have to be careful. So I won't just say anybody's braids are, going to cause hair growth. But when you are getting your hair done on a regular basis, when you have that routine, when you're conditioning, when you're keeping care of your scalp, like there's a lot that goes into it. It's not like braids are just this magic potion that makes people's hair grow. It's a lot more of routine than it is braids. And that's just for me, because I think people's hair can grow without braids if they're following the right routine for their hair, knowing their porosity, knowing how their hair acts, knowing if they need a trim or not. Some people need trims. Um, some people can get by for a long time without a trim and still notice growth. So it's really just getting to know your hair and, reaching out to professionals that have a lot of knowledge about different hair textures and stuff like that. I mean, YouTube can really only take you but so far, which it's a great tool, don't get me wrong. And it's great, it's a great sharing platform, but there's nothing like that one-to-one interaction with a person who you grow with and that they learn your hair texture. Like, I have clients, for example, when I would put the Shine and Jam on their hair would almost just like fold. And it would become so soft that I couldn't even almost braid it. So I had to learn that I could use it on the scalp, but I couldn't run it through the shaft. So, but if it wasn't for me doing their hair regularly, those would be things that I wouldn't learn about them. And so you kind of have to cater to your clients. And that's why for me, it's always, always, always quality over quantity. Because I can do 10 heads a day if I wanted, or 6 heads a day. But I'm not getting to know that person's hair texture. I'm just braiding. Every client that comes with me, I pray that they are able to say it was an experience. I felt catered to. We talked. She took her time, and things like that, because that's how you get repeat customers, not just everybody and anybody just flying in and out of your chair. You know what I'm saying? So okay, that rant is over, y'all. I'm getting a donut. Did anybody have any questions during that time?
Someone put, how many packs of hair do you use on medium box braids?
Say 2.5.
Traditional or knotless? Because that makes the difference. In my ebook on parting has all that too. So that's another thing.
You said knotless.
Knotless. I always end up using less hair, believe it or not.
Two packs.
So about 2 packs. Yeah, I can get through a set of knotless in about 2 packs. For traditionals, definitely a little bit more than that because you're using a little bit more hair. But then Tracy, she'll go ahead and show you guys the hair. And it depends on what packs you're using, because the packs that I use, it's the 2X packs. So you do get 2 bundles in there. So it does take about 4 bundles. Y'all want a donut?
No, I'm okay. Thank you, though.
Good? Okay. You know what? I'm going to put this over here. Because that way, get our jams back on.
Did anyone have any other questions? Yes, Nicole, pre-stretch is definitely a lot easier than having to stretch and use the other hair.
That's good little brownie batter. Sorry, y'all. Listen, okay? This is as real as it gets, okay? This is as real as it gets. So yeah, now I can definitely say we're at the halfway mark. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like it's moving
You,
faster than
yeah,
last
the
time?
way how you just parted that, absolutely.
Yeah, because what's that? Yeah, 4 rows are done. Yeah. So 4 more rows, and they'll start getting smaller as we go up. So we're at a good point.
Yes, absolutely. Pre-stretch hair is definitely a time saver. And the ends come out a lot better with pre-stretch hair because the ends are so much cleaner.
That's another big debate in the braid world. Pre-stretched versus the regular. Some people don't like pre-stretch because they feel like the ends get too thin too fast.
Mm-mm.
So they feel like the other one is more consistent all the way down. But baby, I'm still with pre-stretched. Because, you know, it's just a casualty with the, you know what I mean? And you can balance it out. So if you added it a little bit later, you can kind of balance it out.
Nicole says hi from Canada.
From Canada? Hey, girl. What time is it in Canada? Good grief. That was everything I'm telling you. Wow, Canada, man. I follow some people on Instagram from Canada. Katie Steckley's from Canada. And so is Vanessa Lau. I really want to start making some content on like some business stuff. Like some like different apps and stuff like that that really can help your braiding, like not your physical braiding, but like just the business aspect side of it, you know? That makes a big difference.
That'd be helpful.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go.
She said it's 3:22.
Oh, it's 3. Oh,
So it's the same time.
So same time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Oh, that's the group stuff. Cool. All are welcome to join the group, so just make sure you answer the questions, and we'll go ahead and get you in. Another good thing about pre-parting too is that you just know where you're at the whole entire time. So like even for me right now to just be like kind of stopping and getting a drink and you know making sure that I'm just kind of like, I mean it's not the healthiest, y'all. I had a donut for crying out loud, but you know just something to just kind of give your little energy or whatever, to be able to know that once I get back that I'm just gonna be able to pick up with the next row. It's a lifesaver. I just gotta find my glasses. Maybe we'll be back in business.
Nicole put, I'll be the 230th member. Tamika said that's the best hair group. I'm in for real, so supportive and encouraging and help us improve.
Oh, that's what's up. Thank you, Tamika. Let me tell y'all, Tamika, I'm telling you, Tamika has helped me stay on YouTube.
Aww.
And that is, and it's so crazy. And we need to get your YouTube information too. Um, but Tamika has really been there, like literally from day one. Like always commenting on my videos, even from very early. And it's like we've never met in person, and somehow like we literally have a bond. And that's what it's about. You know, that's what it's about. I know when you're doing YouTube, like, and I say this too, of course you're gonna get caught up on numbers.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna want to make these milestones and these goals, and you want to get monetized and you want to do all this stuff. But it's like the fact that when my name comes up, they know who it is. When their name comes up, I know exactly who it is. My girl Natalie's like, hey, I'm here. I'm like, yeah, girl, we was there earlier. You know, so it's like, it's really about building that community of sisterhood. Like, we're not playing around. Like, it's serious to us, you know? Because I know what I needed when I got into braiding. And I remember, honestly, I remember promising God that if you open this door for me, I promise I'll share everything. Like, and that's what I've literally, I've tried to do. I mean, now, you know, some things might have a price tag, y'all. You know, hey, listen, it's a business still, you know. But when you can get to do stuff like this, you don't know who you're going to be a blessing to. Like, somebody could have been praying for this. Like, God, if there's just somebody to show me something, you know what I mean?
No, for
so
real.
you just never know. But I am so appreciative of everybody. Yeah, Tamika, she's in the group too. She was the one who posted the gel.
Oh, okay, okay.
I was like, that was such a great post, because I'm telling you, if that could be a meme, like, because it's a true statement. You see that fresh jar, you like, oh, we got to get busy.
She said, oh, that's so sweet, Nique. Thank you.
She know I love that girl. No, you always got to know who is riding for you from the jump, for real, because
We spoke about that last time.
I'm telling you, because then when you make it, it's like, you really are able to separate, like, you know, and of course you appreciate anybody at any point in your journey, but she's just the one person that sticks out to me from the very beginning, when I was not confident and when I was so nervous and I didn't want to put out content. And it was like, she was finding it so helpful, and I was just like, and she's an established braider, y'all. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that somebody that already was doing it even before me was, you know, finding it helpful, that meant a lot to me. And then I had to tell myself, well, even if it only helps one person, I'll do
Reach
it.
one person, yeah.
I'll do it. And now we're almost at 40,000 subscribers on this channel, and it's just mind blowing. Mind blowing. So we don't want to take up too much of everybody's time. If there's no more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the style. And if you guys want to see this exact style, I did record the last time we did this, so there is a video on, I want to say it might even be like how to do medium size knotless or something like that. And it's my same exact client, so y'all could go and check that video out as well if you want to see. And then make sure that you follow me on Instagram so that you could see the final results of the style. I'll definitely be posting it in my story. So my Instagram is Nique_Lynn if you're not already following me there. And then also my client does have a YouTube as well. And so, and her YouTube is awesome, guys. She does try on hauls and things like that. It's really about like women empowerment and stuff like that, and just being confident in the skin that you're in. And so if that's something that you guys want to tap into, you guys can also follow her page at Discovering Beauty, and that's on YouTube as well. So yeah, guys, if there's no other questions, we're gonna go ahead so that we can finish up the style.
So where did you get your wraps? What time did you start these braids?
What wraps? I'm sorry.
It just says where do you get your wraps?
What wraps, honey? I'm sorry.
And what time do you think we started the braids? You said like
12:30.
12:30.
12:30 we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was with a lot of because we were live on Facebook, so it's been in real slow motion today, guys. If we weren't doing all of that,
It's going quick though.
it's still going fast.
It's going quick.
It's still going rather fast. But if we weren't doing all that, we'd probably be
closer to done.
very close to being done.
Yeah.
So I think we would have been able to do these in probably about 4.5 hours. had we not been doing so much other technical stuff.
When she says, "Will you get the wrap?" she put at the end of service.
Oh, like the wrap strips.
Mmm. The wrap strips. You can order those on barbersalon.com. So that's BARBERSALON.com. I can't think of the brand, guys, off the top of my head. I'm sorry. It might be called Rapid, as the brand. Yeah, that's what it's called, Rapid. I think something like that. But be careful you don't get the junior ones. I mean, they'll work,
They're
but
short.
yeah, they're you want to make sure that you're getting the adult sized ones.
So real quick, Strawberry did say your channel has been so helpful. Really appreciate you sharing your knowledge. I have daughters and extra tips have been really useful. Tanika said, love you too. You have such a light. You're so helpful, genuine, and a good teacher. Wow, this means so much to me.
Oh,
Along with Nicole, thank you so much, ladies. I really appreciate your time and learn so much.
oh, good, good. So maybe guys, this was my first time going live. So um, and I always wanted to do it, but I just have kind of been nervous about it. Um, but if this is something that is helping, by all means, like I get all different kind of styles on Saturdays. And so if this is like a weekly thing that you guys want me to do, like I have no problem trying, to do this on Saturdays. My weekly videos basically come out on Fridays. And then if you guys want to do the lives on Saturdays, that's fine. And we can talk about all different kind of styles. I would really like to do one on butterfly locks. And I really would like to do some on men's braids because I feel like it's so slept on. It's so slept on.
Especially when you posted it on your IG. That's when I first had seen it too. Yeah.
It's so slept on. And I always say, I joke about it, but I'm like, your men's styles, those are the money makers right there because they don't take all that much time. And so it's like never, always include men's styles if you can.
And tell them your channel again.
No, it's Discovering Beauty.
I just want them to see that too because we didn't talk about that. The other thing, guys, that I didn't get to mention is the bricklayering. You guys always hear me talk about that in my videos. And so what that is, I just want to show you guys in real time. What that is if you see these empty spaces here, am I good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here and here, these are considered empty spaces. You want a braid to fall in between those empty spaces, okay? So when I do this braid, I'm mapping it out to fall right in between here and here. Same thing. I have here and here. I'm mapping it out to fall right in between. And as I go around her head, I'm gonna use basically the middle of this braid to come up. And now this braid here, once it's a braid, will fall in between here and here. And again, we'll do it one more time. I'm gonna take the middle. I can jump her, that's okay. I'm gonna take the middle here like this. I'm gonna use that as my guide. And you can always go back and fix up the parts, but you just wanna make sure. And then that's how your braids don't have to be all that big in order for it to be full. So big does not equal full. Full equals full, okay? So in order to do that is just to map it out and make sure that you're bricklaying the parts so that as the braid goes down, and I'll show you this as well, that as the braid goes down, you can see here that a stair step is beginning to form. And that's always a great sign.
I love that.
So as you can see, it's going down, across, down, across, down, across, down, across, down. So literally, as I'm working my way through her entire head, there is a consistent parting that is beginning to develop itself by making sure that these are brick layered. So guys, I hope that helps. I just want to thank my client as well for allowing me to do this and take the time during her appointment in order to share with you guys. But I do want to make sure that we finish in a good enough time. So again, please follow us on Instagram, follow, subscribe to our YouTubes. And if you have any questions that I was not able to answer here, please feel free to join the group Hair Hustle Hope Collective. And all questions are definitely answered in that group as well. Or you could also leave them on this live video. I will leave this video up to just see, just in case other people come on later that may need some help. So we'll go ahead and leave this live up on the channel for a little while. And yeah, guys, God bless. And we look forward to talking to you next week.